Okay, it's 7 o'clock, so I'd like to call the November 16th, 2023 Lower Saucon Township Planning Commission meeting to order. We'll start with the roll call. I'm Craig Carlogi, the chairman. Tom Carochi.
Here.
Chris Nagy. Oz Hajazi.
Here.
Doug Woosman.
Here.
Jeff Schnell. Jennifer Peters.
Here.
Okay. We can all stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I'm going to suggest that we move the public comment period till after the presentation tonight, in case of any specific comments on the presentation. If that's okay with everybody? Sure. So the first and only agenda item is the Steel Club Phase 3 final major subdivision. Everybody's ready here. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourselves before we get started.
Dave Spurt, I'm the technically managing member of Steel Land LLC, the applicant.
Jim Preston, the attorney for the applicant.
Tyler Freed, work for Reese Engineering, the engineering firm.
And Scott Beast, Reese Engineering.
Okay. So tonight, this is a final plan. We already have preliminary plan approval. I believe you received the November 13th letter from Hanover Engineers.
That's correct.
I don't know if you want to go in and just do a brief introduction or.
Probably what we'll do then is we'll ask Scott, since he's most familiar with it, just to go over with the plan itself.
Sure. So this is a final plan. We already had approved the preliminary plan.
And we've received the review materials, we have no issues with those, and it's 50 feet of past specifications.
Okay.
We're not aware of anything.
Any significant changes since the preliminary plan?
No, the preliminary plan was pretty clean. We had some things to clean up, with drafting items and some things like that. We took care of most of that. Brian's letter for the 13th is kind of short and sweet. A few more things to clean up, but it's really a very clean plan at this point in time.
Can we hear them?
Does the commission want to hear just a summary of the project again? Would that be helpful? Okay.
There might be new members of the public.
So just kind of go over what the concept is, number of units,
Sure. Phase 3 has two development areas, one on the south side of the golf course and one in the central location of the golf course. There will be new roads that are constructed to serve these attached dwellings. There's a total of, I believe, 122. There you can see up there. The central section is called Fairway Woods, and the southerly section is called Return. Bear with me from I'm trying to get the place pointer. Yeah, so this is Fairway Woods, new road coming in off of Wasco at this location. And then you have two cul-de-sac holes, and these are all attached dwelling units. So that's Fairway Woods. There's I believe 59 units there, and the turn is 63. And this is coming in off the Presidentville Road, there'll be a new road constructed at the intersection. And this is the turn again, attached dwelling units. The golf course will be located to the north of this. So that's proposed. Phase 2 was Ross Hill, and this is identical construction to what we had in Phase 2. It's just built out of the other sections that were proposed originally.
How many units was phase 2?
37.
37.
I would like to make a point. So when there was a zoning amendment, and I'm not so sure, I think maybe Craig and Tom were the only ones at that time. This is back in 2014. I was on, and then maybe off and then back on. Anyway, what we did was we took the total, density
Acreage of the property.
of the entire 280 acres, and then actually James came up with 100. That was 159 was the capacity on the 280 acres. We are only at we have still 9 to go. We have 150 that was proposed in phase 2 and phase we are showing 9 houses in Hellertown. Whether or not we do them, I'm not 100% sure. But I just wanted to make that point that we may be back one day saying, okay, we still have 9 more to go. And to make that point, the second point is, there seems to be confusion about the open space. The way the zoning amendment reads is we must maintain an 18-hole golf course in order to, in order to have these townhouses built. And that we would maintain that golf course, and if for some reason we don't have a golf course, then we designated about 110 acres that would be open space in perpetuity. But that, again, that only kicks in when in fact, or if in fact, we don't have a golf course anymore.
Well, there's an easement that goes in place on the existing golf course. It's the entirety of, the way the zoning ordinance reads, it's the entirety of the existing golf course. And that easement will say, if it ceases to be a golf course, then it stays as open space.
Well, the zoning reads is 50%.
If you read the section that talks about the golf course, it says the golf. I read it today.
Well, it says what it says.
Yeah.
There's nothing like that. It says what it says.
Yeah.
Are we mentioning this today because there could be possibility in the future that if not the entire golf course stays into open space, that 50% could be developed?
No, exactly what Lane just mentioned. But my point is, this where there was confusion at the last council meeting, that it's if the golf course ceases to exist. So we can, and I don't know what the definition of open space is, may or may not be allowed to have a golf course on it, or a snack stand, or a golf cart path, or, that kind of thing. And so therein lies, I believe, the distinction between a golf course and open space, if there is a definition for open space.
Well, there's not, I mean, if the confusion was that somebody thought there was an extra 100 acres of open space on top of the golf course, that's not correct.
Oh, okay. If that was the case.
It's just not.
All right.
The golf course is part of the open space. And if, for some reason, it ever ceases to be a golf course, it reverts back to whatever its natural state is.
Yeah, I think my client is concerned, maybe some comments that were made at a prior meeting. Now, I don't know that we're going to iron that out. I'll concede, the ordinance says what it says.
Well, I think that's the point,
That's where we are,
whatever the code requires is what you'll do.
That's
and
what
that's
we
what
do.
we expect. So, yeah.
Theoretically, we can't develop anymore. We developed what was the R40 coverage.
Are there any other questions from the commission?
Just one question. So the code does define a golf course as 110 acres?
No, it doesn't specify the acreage. What it says is the existing golf course will be preserved, whatever the boundaries of the existing golf course are. And I don't know what the acreage is, and Mr. Meese's office is going to do a description and describe for us what the boundaries of that golf course are. But that golf course either stays as a golf course forever or reverts back to whatever its natural grass state is. So no more houses where the golf course is.
Yeah, I mean, I think the code said 50% of the site had to be conserved as open space.
Yeah.
And that open
Right.
space
And
would be
that's-
used as golf course, as woods, as natural area. So this conservation easement would be placed on that area as described by, on the plan, and that's what would be preserved in perpetuity.
There are two sections of the zoning ordinance amendment that discuss this. One says 50%, at least 50% open space. The other says existing golf course stays undeveloped.
Because that was the reason for the zoning amendment as well, because it was a golf course community, I think is what it's called.
That was the
So-
whole purpose of the golf course
Right,
community
so it would be
idea.
a golf
Right.
course community at the golf course,
Right.
so, yeah. clear as can be, so.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, it's the only one like it in Lower Saucon County.
Actually, that's true.
Thankfully.
So in the hand of a letter, anything in the letter that we should pay particular attention to, or?
My letter covers the fact that what remains in the preliminary plan that they have to do. The way that the plan set of 20-some sheets is laid out, if they agree to what's in my letter, it will be considered the preliminary and the final plan for phase 3. So everything will be incorporated into one sheet. My letter also lists all the permanent and outside agency approvals that they'll have to follow through with before they record the plan and post security, do the legal agreements for the solicitor. And I try to list all that so that if you get approval, you can't record it till you meet everything in the way.
And those are all typical conditions of a final plan with the outside agency approvals.
Yeah, I mean, the only one that's different is what Link said, we need the golf course
That easement.
agreement ironed out. But other than that, everything else you'd probably see in any other final plan.
If there are no other questions from the commission, we'll open it up to any public comment or questions.
Sign the sheet. Priscilla De Leon,
No, I'm not speaking.
that's the only name on the sheet, there's somebody else.
Anybody else have any questions? Okay, with no public comment, I guess we'll open it up to a motion from the commission. I can make the motion that we would recommend preliminary, is it preliminary / final plan? Oh, just final, okay. Recommends final plan approval of the Steel Club Land Development Phase 3 final plan, which would be conditioned upon all items as listed in the November 13th, 2023 letter from Hanover Engineering. Second. Doug seconds. All in favor? Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda tonight is the approval of the October 26, 2023 meeting minutes. Any comments or questions on the minutes? Is there a motion for approval? Also, Tom seconds. All in favor? Aye. Any public comment on non-agenda items? State your name, please.
I'm Bill Warner, 2339 Black River Road. Comment somewhat related to the last minutes, but my concern is the minutes last time had this proposal, Fire Lane condos, that were struck through. I guess it was put on the agenda, my understanding, just from reading the Saucon Source website, it was put on and taken off within a day. My property is in the backyard, so I certainly oppose. I don't want 100 people in my backyard, but I'm not really familiar with how it works. I'm just curious how it got on the agenda and then back off.
So that was a sketch plan proposal, so it's kind of an informal presentation for initial feedback, so it's not an official application.
Okay.
They had asked to be placed on the agenda maybe a day or two before the last planning commission meeting, and then just as quickly asked to be removed from the agenda. I'm not aware that we've heard anything more from them asking to be heard, so that I would suggest that you keep an eye on the agenda though to see if it does come back up. Because
Okay. So the procedure would be the developer would go through the planning commission first?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a sketch plan before the planning commission. Sometimes they can go to council, but not always. And then there's a formal submission where there's a time clock for review, and there's code requirements that we need to follow.
Okay.
We would hear those comments, make recommendations, and then it would go to council, and then they'd come back for a final plan.
Okay. Just curious, is that property zoned for 42 condos?
It is not, they would need some type of zoning change or zoning relief in order to do that.
Okay, because we were, you know, in the back part of our property, the borders, we were told it was wetlands and couldn't be developed at all.
Right. Right, yeah, so they would need to go through all the studies and demonstrate that, you know, what areas are suitable, and so it's a lengthy process.
Okay, great, thank you very much.
Zoning change for the studies.
And there are other comments tonight? We're at adjournment. And can we get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn, happy Thanksgiving.
Is that second? All in favor? Aye. Record.
Unlike last night. Mark, thanks for taking it. Thank you.
Do you have yourself signed up on the township to get alerted when they have? Yeah, you can have them send.
On their website?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can, I forget, I don't know